Welcome, everybody. College Football Week 10 is in the books, and College Football Week 11 is here. I'm Joe at the Game House, and today we'll be going over 5 NFL draft prospects to watch in College Football Week 11. College Football Week 11 is here with some interesting matchups to go over. As a reminder, we're going to go over 5 NFL draft prospects to watch every week of the college football season. We're going to try not to repeat any of these players. We're going to try to give new players each week as we can kind of dive into more players before we get to the 2024 NFL draft. If you don't see your player this week, maybe you'll see him next week when they have a big game, or maybe we've covered him before. So just tag along for the rest of the way here. Only a couple of weeks left of the regular season before we get into Conference Championship Week. So let's get it started with Chris Jenkins, the defensive lineman out of Michigan. You might remember this name before because his father played in the NFL. Michigan's had a great start to the season. They're undefeated. We all know that the sign stealing thing is going on. But the defense has played extremely well, and that should be something that is focused on for now while everyone else figures out the punishments and everything else. Jenkins has been really good up front for the Wolverines. He has 20 total tackles and 1.5 sacks on the interior of that defensive line. In Week 11, Michigan takes on Penn State, the biggest game of the season so far. They really have had a really easy schedule. That's why they're not ranked very highly in the college football playoff rankings all the time. If you don't play anyone, you can't prove how good you are. So if they can shut down the run, it's going to be tough for Penn State to score. I think Chris Jenkins can be a very good run stuffer at the next level. I think he can show that in this game by taking up multiple blocks and helping fill some running lanes and make things difficult for opposing blockers. And Penn State does have a very talented offensive line, including left tackle Olu Fashanu, who's going to be a first-round pick. So, Michigan, if they're going to win, a lot of distractions going on in the program. Making it easy for Michigan to win would be the defense playing well. Penn State, in the biggest game they've had so far against Ohio State, the offense looked pretty bad. So, Chris Jenkins can make Drew Allard, the Penn State quarterback, beat them. And if he does that, it could be interesting to see what happens in this game because I think Michigan will probably win this one pretty easily. But just to cover the other side of things here too, Caleb King, the corner from Penn State. Penn State only has one loss in the season, came to Ohio State. Plenty of play for this year if they win this game against Michigan. Still in the thick of things for the Big Ten East. Yes, they have the loss to Ohio State, but they could hope Ohio State loses. They could also hope to still be in play for the college football playoff with one loss. So it's a big game. Their defense has been standing out over their offense. Early this season, it kind of looked like it'd be more balanced, but it hasn't really come to fruition that way. Kalen King has been really good for them this year. So far this season, he has 25 total tackles and 2 passes defended. Now, while I'm watching him in this game, he's been a critical part of Michigan's success shutting down the passing game, but he did have a rough game against Marvin Harrison, and he's even quoted as saying, hey, you can't let one bad performance become 2 bad performances. So I love the mentality, but this is one of the last games they're going to play that is against a very, very good team. And even though Michigan doesn't have the most receiving weapons, Roman Wilson's a pretty good receiver, but even though they don't have the most, I think it's a good matchup for him. Shutdown corner all year, could show better ball skills. Either way, he's built his stock up this year. He's played pretty well other than that one game. I think he should be selected still around the midway point, probably first half of the first round in the 2024 NFL Draft. Next one up, we have Amarius Mims, the offensive tackle out of Georgia. Now, Georgia has remained undefeated through 10 weeks of the college football season. They've kind of drew some criticism along with Michigan for not playing too many big games, but they have won some games against some pretty good teams like Missouri this past couple weeks. Missouri and Kentucky the past couple weeks. The offense took some time to figure some things out, but now they're rolling, and one of the biggest reasons is the offensive line. And it's impressive because they haven't even had Amarius Mims for a lot of the season. He's been missed a lot of time with injury. They're saying he's likely to be back this week. That could help take this offense to a whole new level. Week 11, Georgia takes on Ole Miss. Still just has one loss on the year. They're playing for their playoff lives as well. If Mims is healthy enough to play, it could be help for them establishing the run, taking some pressure off Carson Beck, who has improved throughout the course of the season, but maybe isn't the biggest game changer at quarterback. He's very talented, but has received a lot, limited reps throughout his career. He hasn't really played all that much throughout his career, so he needs to get on the field and show that he can be a force that he is. That's the biggest thing for him, just getting these reps because he is big and athletic. Still expected to be a first-round pick, but could solidify that if he plays and plays well down the stretch with some of these games like the SEC Championship and a probable playoff spot for Georgia coming up. All right, Brandon Dorlus, the defensive lineman for Oregon. Oregon still only has one loss in the season. That was to Washington. Again, another team with a lot to play for this season. A lot of that is thanks to the defensive efforts. Brandon Dorlus has been versatile for them on the defensive line, and that has helped them reach their goals defensively. 19 total tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks on the season. Now, this week, They're going to be taking on the reeling USC Trojans. Now, we know that USC is struggling right now, but their offense is still playing well. So this is a big matchup for Dorless. If you can help them shut down Caleb Williams, that would help. They'll have the spotlight on him. That'll help him with his draft stock. Dorless can get pressure on the quarterback pretty well by playing outside or inside. If he plays well in this game, it could really help his stock. Sometimes the guys play inside or outside could be tweeners. But also, the versatility is also wanted by some different teams. So it could be very big for them if he plays well. The next one up, we have Ja'Lynn Polk, the wide receiver for Washington. Washington has won some big games. They're undefeated this season. Look to make the CFP. Just got to keep on winning and keep this train moving. Offense has been great with the receiver room having plenty of talented players. Ja'Lynn Polk has been one of their standouts. 51 catches for 888 yards and 8 touchdowns this season. Now, this is important for him because they're going up against Utah this week. Utah's a very physical team. They'll try to grind out wins like they always do, especially without starting quarterback Cam Rising. Polk's going to have to help stretch the field and open things up for both the passing and the running game. He has solid size and production this season. And Washington's been kind of banged up in their receiver room, so if he can play well, that would mean a lot. Deep receiver class for this 2024 class, and any type of performance that you can have that is good against a good opponent, it could be the difference between being taken as wide receiver 5 or 6, or maybe moving up the board a little bit. So currently projected as a day 2 pick. Think he could work his way up a little bit more, but maybe early second round. I know that's still day 2, but could still work. He's still plenty of time to work on a stock. So those are the 5 NFL draft prospects I'm watching this week. Let me know who you're watching in the comments below. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.